Tonight's performance includes some incredible, talented, emerging, and established Indigenous singer-songwriters who will take turns sharing their songs and the stories behind them in a very intimate setting. So it's like what we'll do is almost like you're like in somebody's living room was kind of the vision with this, and you'll be able to hear some of the stories behind their songs, ranging from powerful to sad to humorous to very playful. No matter the story or the song, this style of raw or originally written unplugged concert always creates a unique sense of healing and community sharing that will leave the audience, all of you, hopefully, uplifted and amazed by the magic of the lyrics and storytelling behind these artists' songs. Something growing up, I come from the radio industry, and I've always wanted to put on these kind of showcases. And my father was actually a pioneer in radio, but also brought Canadian country music to Canada. He was one of the founding members of the CCMA Awards. And one of our missions and vision was really to help promote our Canadian country music artists. And at one point, it was really difficult for our Canadian artists, whether they're country or rock, to actually make it into the States. And that was always one of those missions, having a radio station right here in Niagara and being able to be heard in the States is how do we bridge that? So taking on that kind of sort of, I guess, legacy that my father had established in the country music industry, I wanted to also bring that forward for our Indigenous artists as well. So this is where the showcase comes in, is to really help promote and educate, but also create some awareness of the incredible talent that we have out there. So I just want to let you know that after the show, we will have a Q&A, and please, feel free to ask any questions that you may have. I'll have the mic, and that way you can get to, to start a dialogue with our Indigenous artists, and feel free to ask any questions. Some history together, but we need to also forge history together forward. And we need to do that in a very symbiotic and respectful way so that we can leave this world in our 7th generation in a better place. But I also want to mention that this show will be rebroadcasted next week on the FirstOntario Performing Arts YouTube channel. So please share that with your friends. If you know of anyone that may enjoy listening to some emerging artists and also some of our established artists, please give them a plug and send it out and share it on social media. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our circle, tonight's circle. And I'll start with a quote from our first guest. "I want to connect with people through my music, to inspire them with vibrations so that we can have deeper conversations," says Lacey Hill. And that she does. And one writer sums it up perfectly. And I'll quote, "Her melodies wash over you. Her lyrics carry her voice, weave something unspeakable in and outside of her guitar playing. You keep listening, you're ecstatic, and you're touched, and you're haunted all at the same time." This Mohawk Turtle Clan Six Nations born and bred independent singer-songwriter describes her music as Indigenous soul. Grown from a passion for making music since she was just a little girl, and she's one of the very few female musical talents to roll out album after album from her community. 528, volume number 3, The Moon, is her newest independent release, which came out just on October 9th, and her new music video, Conduit, came out just 6 days ago. She is active and actively being a voice for our people by creating awareness through her lyrics, music, as a mentor for young talent, as a motivational speaker with her keynote address titled Honoring Your Bundle. And now a lead role in The Airways, a comedy web series, and performing for the Truth and Illusion theater projects. Please welcome tonight's matriarch of tonight's circle, the very talented Lacey Hill. Our next performer was born in the small town of Hagersville, Ontario, and raised in Six Nations of the Grand River on his grandparents' beef and cattle cash crop farm. Jim Jacobs was an avid athlete playing football, lacrosse, hockey, but it wasn't until his injury during his semi-pro years that brought him back home, where he fell in love with writing and performing country songs of his country legend idols, such as George Jones, Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Conway Twitty. He eventually made the move to Nashville to follow his dream in the music industry. While in Nashville, Jim worked tirelessly in construction and transportation. I'm surprised you weren't waiting on bars, because that's what most people do when they go down there trying to get into the music industry. But he also learned some hard life lessons along the way, performing occasionally with a few open mics and eventually finding himself in the recording studios with many artists. These days, he is putting his energy into writing about the life lessons he's learned and traveling back and forth to Nashville to record. A true believer, things happen for a reason, and that things happen when they're supposed to happen, and that this is his time now. And you know what? It certainly is his time. For Jim, his new single, Over for Good, is out and charting at number 8 in the UK. And currently, he is gearing up for his video release party on December 9th at the Gathering Place in Ohsweken, Ontario. We are pleased to have him join the circle tonight, so please give a warm welcome to Jim Jacobs. Did you come all the way in from Nashville or Ohsweken? American songwriter and recording artist Robert Freightrain Parker is a multi-award-winning Hall of Fame inductee whose Indigenous heritage, Seneca, infuses sensibility and intense passion in his messages he delivers through his masterful music landscape, a sound that is unique and recognizable blend of soul, funk, blues, and roots. Parker's signature sound is captivating and undeniably infectious. Robert Freightrain Parker is recognized as one of the absolute best bassists in Western New York and was awarded the covered Best Blues Album of the Year at the Winnipeg 2018 Indigenous Music Awards. I love this quote from him. He says, "We're not really a blues band, but we really play the hell out of blues." Parker is an internationally recognized performer who has been inducted into the Buffalo, New York Hall of Fame, Music Hall of Fame, back in 2015, being the first Indigenous inductee since the inception of the Hall in 1983. Robert is known as one of the best in the business, as some people say, and he is an extraordinary bass player. He is also a soulful lead vocalist and harmony expert who has been hired as session player throughout his musical career by many accomplished touring acts, which is a testament to his skill, stage presence, and personable characteristic traits, which also extends into his philanthropic endeavors through his annual toy drive for Native kids. It is in his 11th year. The toy drive will be on December 9th. Oh, wait a second, December 9th. There's a lot of things going on December 9th. We have to split ourselves between, so it's December 9th at the Rapid Theater in Niagara Falls, New York. So both ends of the spectrum of basically Haudenosaunee country. So please, so taking a break, he took a break during COVID, but Robert is back. And we are honored to have him part of tonight's circle. Please welcome to the stage Robert Freightrain Parker and his guitarist who came all the way in from New York City, Hayden Fogel. This 25-year-old Mohawk French-Canadian singer-songwriter is from the Six Nations of the Grand River. He is currently teaching guitar to many youth on the reserve, helping them empower, build confidence, and performing shows and writing songs for more than 10 years. Growing up in a very musical family, singing traditional songs and learning to play guitar and write lyrics led James down his musical journey. James kicked off his career competing as a soloist at competitions in Nashville, Boston, and New York from 2012 till 2015. It's hard to believe he's 25 and he's already accomplished so much. James had the great opportunity to sing backup for Lorde at the 2017 Much Music Video Awards and recently finished recording his debut album, Tidal Wave. His debut single release, City Lights, hit #1 on the Indigenous Music Countdown. We are pleased to welcome this young talented singer-songwriter to the circle. Please welcome to the stage, James Wilson. And without further ado, I am honored to present tonight's Celebration of Nations, The Circle, Indigenous musicians, singer-songwriters in the round. And at this point, Lacey Hill, Jim Jacobs, Robert Freightrain Parker, and James Wilson, take it away. Lacey.
Thank you so much, and thank you everybody for, joining us tonight. This is my first time in this stadium, this auditorium, but it sounds really, really beautiful in here with the wood and just the space. So I just wanted to thank you, Michelle, for having us here and inviting us to come together. And it just so happens we're all Haudenosaunee here, right? So I'm sure we'll have some jokes, and later on.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So I just wanted to start this off. I guess I'll scoop up the first song and acknowledge. I wanted to share this song specifically. It's called Medicine Bag, and it's off my first album. And where I come from is Six Nations, and just beyond that is Brantford, and that's where the Woodland Cultural Center is, right? And that used to be, we called it the Mush Hole. And the Mush Hole was a residential school. So my first album, I had the opportunity to go in there before it was all renovated. There was a studio in there called the Dam Studios, and I was able to go in there and record music. And it was my first album, so I fundraised. I went to all the people that were like, Lacey, are you singing, And I was like, hey, you want me to sing? Help me produce this album. So the community helped me. I raised funds, did 50-50 and all that stuff to raise up enough money to go in there and do my first album. And I was in the hallway, the stairway of the girls' side of the girls' chamber on the right side of the school. And I remember going in there and totally feeling super weird. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those Indians that can see spirits and stuff like that, though, so don't get it twisted. It just felt really, sometimes unbearable. The feelings were just a lot. So I had already, written songs for the album, but this came to me in the stairwell of that place. So I think it's really important to share that. You guys get to know a little bit about me and where I started, and that was in 2013. So my 10-year anniversary is coming up, which is super freaking cool. But anyways, this is called Medicine Bag, and it's meant to protect us here. 3:15 in the middle of the night. You put a spell on me. Oh, baby, you ain't right. So don't count on me. If you need a thing, sing my protection song. I got my medicine bag. I got my medicine bag. I got my medicine bag. Sing my protection song. I got my medicine bag. Thank you so much. And thank you to the young people in that space that helped me come together with that. You see, we talk about generational trauma a lot. And sometimes it's just as good to find some sort of good in tragedy and trauma. And call me an optimist, because I am, and I try my best to look for the good, even though it might be so bad. And I believe that that was a positive thing that came out of that experience, which was, in the beginning, a really awful one for those who were there. So I was very fortunate to have my first album recorded in there before they renovated the space, and now it's all renovated. It's all gone. There's nothing in that space anymore. So I was very fortunate. So I guess my next question, and there's no particular order here, gentlemen, but I guess want to share that if there's something that you guys have to share in a song that's either, one of your first songs or one that really means something to you, because Medicine Bag is a cappella, it's nothing, it's just my voice. And if you have anything that you wanted to... You
want me to start? All right, well, I'm going to do a song that was inspired me. I was inspired by a lot of my students on Six Nations, so I never really see myself as being a teacher. I was kind of pushed into the position, but seeing the kids go from being very frustrated to learning an instrument, going through those stages of being scared to go on stage and everything like that, and seeing them after a couple years get the confidence and everything, and to use music as a form of healing in their life and just build that confidence to go on stage and perform. It was really inspiring for me to reflect on my own journey as a young musician, and it takes a lot of believing in yourself when it first starts, right? There's a couple years where you're just, can I do this? You're kind of questioning yourself, right? And for me, thankfully, I had someone like Lacey. Lacey really helped me. Like, I remember I did your seed release party, right? And I remember I had some really great mentors. Lacey was one of them, and I think young artists definitely need that. So I hope that one day I could be that for someone else in the community, and that's part of the reason why I got into teaching. So this song is just a reflection of my journey in music and how important it is to who I am, and how many opportunities it's brought me, and I don't know who I would be without music. So yeah, hope you enjoy. This song's called Tidal Wave. Tidal wave, it brings me to create a song. Sound, suddenly I'm found, breaking down but never hit the ground. When I'm alone, I turn to what I know, this box of strings, what I call a home. Catch the breeze and never let it go. Even if my songs are a waste of time, I'll drive 1,000,000 miles just to ease my mind. No, 'cause I know all my life playing shows me sound. Oh, I know, oh, I know. Place of grace, perfect throw, time awaits. I'm in my zone, I'm in my zone. I concentrate on another state of mind. The sound effect is making me feel fine. I'm a wreck, so I'll just take my time. my songs are a waste of time. I drive 1,000,000 miles just to ease my mind. Oh, 'cause I know all my life it shows me sound. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Place of grace, perfect flow, time and waste. I'm in my zone. I'm in my zone. Sounds that are stuck in my head are all screaming to let them out, singing out, feel the vibration. All my life, it shows me sound. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Place of grace, perfect flow, time and waste. I'm in my zone. I'm in my zone. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Thank you. Yeah, go. Thank you.
James, you've like, it's so nice to share the stage with you again. And I remember when you're like 25, right?
I'm 25. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember you when you were like just starting out.
I think I was
and-
18 or 19 when I first.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
and it's just so nice to hear you again. I can see and feel the progress, dude. Way to go, man.
Thank you so
Proud
much,
of you. That's
Lacey.
fucking
Thank you.
awesome. I'm
You
proud
really
of
helped me on my journey. So it's yeah, it's a tough one when you're first starting out. You don't know your place. Like there's some of these artists you like. I really looked up to you, Derek, and all the great Six Nations artists, right? And I know it's very intimidating, right, when you're just starting out.
You know what? It is.
Yeah.
It is really. And like I'm a child and youth worker, so when I see kids that have that shine, I do take the time to try to help as much as I can, and I'm so glad that you're still in it, man. That's like fucking awesome.
Oh,
man.
I'm
I'm
stuck.
really,
I don't
I'm
think
really
I could
proud
ever
of
let
you.
it go.
I'm really proud of you, and
Thank you.
for sharing that. That's a really awesome
I really appreciate it. Thank you, Lacey.
contribution. Yeah,
Okay.
Jim, you're up.
All right.
You're up, man. Show me what you got. I'm throwing this book over there. You don't need that. Come on now.
So I had to bring some cheat notes. I got so many songs in my head lately. Had to bring that with me. So, where do I start?
Oh, we got some backup singers, anyways.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I thought maybe my baby was here for a minute. I got a little 5-month-old at home, and he's making lots of noise now too. So he couldn't make it tonight. So next time. But I love babies. I love hearing them cry. You go ahead and cry all you want.
Yeah, the music will calm
Yeah.
that savage beast.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So, you mentioned Derek,
Yeah.
Josh. I went to school with Derek and Josh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, grew up playing hockey with them, lacrosse too.
Josh is
Yeah.
phenomenal too.
What's
Yeah,
that?
Josh is phenomenal. I just did a show, I think, Treaty in Niagara Falls with him.
Okay.
Amazing musician. Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've always loved him as a friend, as
Yeah.
musician, singer. He was, I remember 8th grade, we finished our graduation there, and we went back to his place, and his mom put on a little feed for us all, and he got his guitar out then, and he had been jamming with Randy some, and his cousin there, and he started playing in bands, I think, when he was 9th grade, 14, because I remember sneaking into the bars to watch him. So we used to hang out together. They played a lot of the blues stuff, and I hung out with them at school, learned how to play my chords from them at school. My brother played too. And I just I always had a liking for old country stuff. My parents, all my aunts, uncles, grandparents, that's all I ever heard on the radio was George Jones, Merle Haggard, Conway, you know, all the guys you know by the first name. So I went to Nashville after the college and all, and played for another artist at the time, guitar, and I never really got to do my own thing, but just in the last, it's been like 7 years, I think we started working on this album. I met a friend, producer, Robbie Turner in Nashville there, and we finally got this record done this past year, and I picked this song to be the first one because I did a lot of like construction, trucking on the road, and I think I wrote this one on some napkins, driving down the road trucking one day. And it was just about the relationship I was in and wasn't going too well, and I always looked up to my influences there, and they always said, just write what you know, right? What's on your mind and what you're going through. So that's what I did, and we finally got her done. So I'm going to play this one here that I wrote. It's called Over for Good. The video just came out on YouTube today. If you didn't see it, please check it out. Requested on your stations. Well, see if you like it first. I'll play it for you.
Request it anyway. I don't care if you like it or not.
All right. Ready? She used to rush home at night when her shift was through. Do everything just like she promised to. But things seemed to change when she turned to the wine. Oh, it feels like I've just lost this whole world of mine. I got a bad, bad feeling that it's over for good. I just can't believe you don't know how I could. After all your lies are telling me the truth. Oh, I've got a bad, bad feeling that it's over for good. I wish we could go back to the way we were then. Since the day I first met you, you've been my best friend. Oh Lord, please help me at all I can stand. Don't know how to go on being your man. Your pride is so strong, stronger than me. And I've tried my best to get you to see just what you've been doing to me. And the pain is so hard that it's killing me. I got a bad, bad feeling that it's over for good. I just can't believe you don't know how I could. After all your lies are telling me the truth. Oh, I've got a bad, bad feeling it's over for good. All right, thank you very much.
Right on, Jim.
Thank you.
I like that Nashville twang, you know?
Awesome.
I
appreciate it.
Yeah, that it's like half scone though too, you know? Like
Threw a little scone in
yeah,
there.
so it's got like, you know, edge, you know? I like it very much.
Right on,
Thank you
I
so much.
appreciate it.
That's ace, thank you. And congratulations on your album, man. I'm really proud of you, and sometimes it takes a long time to get something, you know, good.
It does, yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
You must feel really good being able to release that. I know as an artist, I'm just like kind of nervous, you know, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because it's like, here you go.
Yeah.
I really hope you like it. I've been working really hard, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
I hear you. Yeah, it's been a long time just getting there, but yeah, it feels good to finally get her done and
Yeah.
throw it out there and
Heck
see what
yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, man. I'm
Yeah,
glad you're
appreciate it.
glad you're doing well, and the babes and everything. Sounds like you really finally got your shit together.
Finally.
Finally, holy heck. All right.
Me too.
Oh, Robert, right on, just in time. Yes, I like it.
I love that his style there. I grew up, I grew up in Buffalo, New York, and my dad was a musician, and he played guitar and he played bass, and there was a band they had. It was called the Iroquois Trail, and it was all Seneca guys, and it was the same thing. I grew up listening to Merle and George and all those great country singers, but also my dad, he always taught me. I picked up the bass, and he taught me to learn, as we were talking earlier, learn every genre in your work, and I learned to appreciate every genre, and I don't. It's like listening to one style of music. I just can't do it. There's too many good musicians and too many good styles, and I guess in my career, I've played over 40-something years. I've learned that I was hired for a lot of things because of my broad range of what kind of music. I even played polka music, and it's very, very complicated, and you learn things like that when you actually play it.
I think that's probably a very lucrative position to be in, actually, because there's not very many polka players.
You know what? My dad actually played in a polka band. He played bass. He was a native, he was a Seneca man, and they were nominated for a Grammy.
So you're telling me it's generational?
I guess so.
You're-
Well,
you're-
he brought me into it.
Yeah.
I was 15, and I would play in the band with them. And they did all kinds of music. Anyway, but I'm lucky because, I picked up the bass, and I started on trumpet, and I apparently was good. But I was like, I do not want to play trumpet. But I ended up playing bass, and I had a paper route, in the city, and I saved my money, went and bought a bass, and that was it. There was no turning back. That was my first gig when I was about 13, and we used to play on my dad's breaks. His band would play. We'd play on his breaks. My brother Ken played saxophone, and we had, my dad, like I was saying, my dad turned me on to jazz and blues and every kind of music possible. And I ended up, out of high school, I was on the road doing a Holiday Inn circuit for, 6 nights a week, gone for about 6 months at a time. And I got hooked up with a pretty popular guy. His name was Rick James, and we were kind of, I was kind of in his house at his studio, just kind of laying down tracks, grooves and stuff. And I attended a couple of his parties and decided that I wanted to live past 21. So I took the Roots road, and it hasn't been easy, but it's a love I have. I've had 100 different jobs, to survive, but that's what I am, a survivor and a musical survivor. And, like Michelle was saying earlier, I was fortunate enough to get the respect from my peers, which is what I really wanted in my career. And, they inducted me into the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame, and I recorded with a lot of different people, and I started my own band in Buffalo. I had moved all over, and it kind of morphed into this band. I had a whole big thing I was doing, Robert, Freightrain, Parker, and friends, and Hayden was involved. I've known Hayden since he was 14. What was that, 6 months ago? 8 years. Anyway, and I used to get a lot of kids, younger people, and I'd help them along. And anyway, I morphed into this band, and my name was kind of known in different states, so I went and did a show by myself, actually, in Florida, and it was packed, and it was just packed, and I'm sitting there going, I don't have any merchandise, and so it made me record my first album, and there was only one song, that was one I wrote on it. It was all kind of old blues songs, some B.B. King and people, kind of got New Orleans guy. And it ended up winning the Indigenous Music Award for Best Blues Album. And it kind of set me out. I have to tell you, I went to the awards in Winnipeg, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to win, and these people don't even know who I am. And, honestly, I wasn't 100% happy with the album, because I'm really, really critical, picky, and so I get there by myself, and I'm in the front row, and the only person I knew there was giving the award out was Elaine Bomberry. And so Elaine is up there, and I'm sitting in the front row, and she goes, and the winner is, it was a great show, too. It was like being at the Grammys, a beautiful show. And she says my name, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And I had no idea what to say, but I think it was the biggest honor for me because it was Indigenous, and also it was a vote not by a popularity vote, but it was by people in the business. And so that set me off to do my second album, and this is the one we really sat down. My partner in writing is Grace Logan. She's a young, fantastic guitar player, and we had a really good system. We'd sit in my living room on the floor with an iPhone and just write songs, And this song that I'm going to do is on the album. It's called You Found Me, and I think, sitting here listening to your stories, and I think about it, and it's and I read the words, and I'm like, it really is me, because I was lucky enough in my lifetime to find true love, and I never knew what it was, and that was the struggle in my life, whether it be, because of music, and that's what a lot of my songs are about, my struggles, but there is happiness, and this song we kind of wrote, and we were writing a lot of different things, and kind of just went to the wayside. And one day we're sitting around, and we're like, man, we need one more song, And all of a sudden we went back to our phones, and we started playing it, and it morphed into this song called You Found Me. And I'm lucky enough to have this super talented young man, Hayden Fogel from Buffalo. He came from New York City to be here, and he's to accompany me because I'm a bass player, and you wouldn't want to just hear me playing bass. But this is called You Found Me. wasting time trying to find someone. I'm tired of changing just to fit in another one's plan. I wasn't looking when I met you. Oh no, I had given up love for love, but you found me. You found me. I hit a place so low before I realized. And it's a shame before you wait to live your life. Yeah. I wasn't looking when I met you. Oh no, I didn't know I needed your love, but you found me. You found me. You found me. You found me. I wasn't looking when I met you. Oh no, I didn't know I needed your love, the seasons may change. Oh, I won't try to keep on searching, but you found me. You found me. You found me. Yeah. You found me. That's for my wife. Thank you.
It's awesome.
I love songs. Thank you so much.
I was a sucker for ballads growing up.
Man. Oh, I love it. That's a really awesome song. Thank you. Song. I just released 528 Volume 3, And 528 is actually a vibration number, and it's a frequency, and it's a frequency of love. And that's really cool to hear a little bit of your history, because I myself was a jazz trumpet player.
Wow.
But
I never made it to jazz. I just made it to lightly blow.
I mean,
Jazz trumpet player.
for 4 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
But you know why? It was because I was really scared of singing when I was younger. And you can't play the trumpet and sing at the same time. And I got wicked lips, like I can
Armature, it's
I can get there.
Let me see you point.
Yeah. Yeah. That was straight to the back there. But so yeah, I really, that's really awesome, and it's awesome to meet you. This is the first time
Yeah.
we've met, and
All of us.
well, I met
I
these
mean,
guys.
for
These,
me.
yeah. And your partner there, and I just wanted to say thank you so much, and thank you for sharing.
Oh, of
It's
course.
such a
I'm
beautiful
so happy
thing.
to be here.
It's really cool to connect, with people that you've never met before. You have like certain commonalities and certain things that come up, and I think that's one of the reasons why music is so freaking phenomenal, is because we're able to connect in a different way, that sometimes, like through verbal talk, you can only put it in a song. You know what I mean? And it's really cool to be up here and be amongst gentlemen, can I say that? You guys are gentlemen, right? Oh, yeah. Savage gentlemen there, in the middle there. Whatever one, but it's really nice to be amongst great players and men that can emotionally transfer into a song. You could take your emotions and do something with it. And I think that's a really positive, amazing thing. And we all know that music is the medicine, right? I think we can say that we're on the same page when it comes to that, and sharing and turning our experiences into something so beautiful to share. So I think that's really awesome. So thank you so much for being strong enough to never give up. Because I know how hard it is for men. Not that I'm a man, but I know how hard it is as a woman. So I have to give you credit, because I know how hard it is. Hey, welcome. Look at you guys got some claps coming in. Welcome, you're famous. So I guess it's my turn in the circle. There's not really any order, but because I'm just gonna go off of your song there with the love. I'm into that. I love love, and like I said, my whole series of albums is 528, and my whole message is love, and it is the key of C. And when you see the key of C on the piano, it's actually just to the left, right? And kind of like our hearts are just kind of to the left too. So there's many things that, are they coincidence? I don't think so. But it's really interesting in learning these types of things in your musical journey. I'll sing this one. It's called The Love Letter. It's on my new album, and I released it February 14th, obviously, because it's Valentine's Day. Try to do like a marketing scheme, because I'm an independent female artist. I gotta find a way to sell my shit. So Valentine's Day it is. So I'll play this one. Wait, am I on? Am I even on? Oh, okay, there we go. Thank you in the back. Sound gentlemen in the back, thank you. Hey there, my lover, did I blow my cover, hiding my feelings for you? I know that you're healing, feelings that you're feeling, well, I am too. but I feel so blue without you. Without you, I'm so grateful when I say your name. Love goes through my veins. And when I'm lonely and I think of you when I go, you're my one and only. I'm not so funny without you, babe. No, I'm still funny. You move me inside. You make me feel alright all night. I got these feelings for you. I got these feelings for you. I'm so blue without you. I'm so blue without you. There's no me without you. There's no me without you. There's no me without you. I got these feelings for you. Thanks. Thank you. I know you got a love song, James.
I got a couple love songs. Yeah,
He's too young.
I need the best.
The best.
The best of
All
the
right,
best.
Let me think. So this, remember we did the Buffy show on
Yeah,
Six Nations? So
yeah.
apparently this is Buffy's favorite song out of my set. So
She
when
talks to you?
I
She
talked
talks to you?
I
She
talked
does?
to her once, right? I had the opportunity of talking to her, and I didn't think she heard my set. I thought she was just practicing or doing her own thing, and I was like, how'd you? And she said you were great. I was like, which song did you like? And she's like, oh, I like that Spanish Eyes song that you have. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool because I did some covers, and she liked my original song more than all my covers. So that meant a lot for me. And yeah, so I always have to say that this is Buffy approved. But it's called Spanish Eyes, and I wrote it for my girlfriend.
Right on.
There I am. Pull me in close, Spanish eyes. Take off our clothes and dance through the night. Ooh. Ooh. Work my hands and my feet every day and night. Push me down to my knees and I'll learn to fly. In the end, I pretend to be what you like, till the day you look away with those Spanish eyes. Pull me in close, Spanish eyes. Take off our clothes and dance through the night. My faith is strong, I've waited so long. I'll hold you close. The blame is on you, what else can I do? God only knows. My Spanish eyes. Spanish eyes, oh. Pull me in close, Spanish eyes. Take off our clothes and dance through the night. Awesome, thank you. Song's called Spanish Eyes. Thank you.
James, I have to just say, I always support original pieces, man. Like, and I told you that right from the get-go.
Right from the, I remember that because I was like doing so many. I was trying to get gigs, and most gigs they always require covers, always covers, right? So I remember that you were like, do your originals. Your originals are good. Keep going, right? So
man, I'm telling you. Well, and I'll keep telling you, man. I'll keep telling you until I only hear a couple covers.
I actually always have that comment in the back of my mind where it's just like, oh, Lacey said, oh, do originals. I throw in originals. I don't know why it's like it stuck with me because I don't think anybody has ever really said it's like your originals are that good.
Yeah,
you know
man,
what I mean?
you gotta let them shine, man. I believe in you, and I still do it, and I always want you to keep progressing forward because you could just really. You're gonna get seasoned, dude, and when you get like, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the whole thing for you because I can see the growth and the potential there. So it's really exciting to see. Thank you so much.
Lacey.
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm excited to see where like all of us too. Like I think it's amazing the amount of music that's coming out of Six Nations and different things, right? We're storytellers, singers, and it feels so natural, you know. And that's a big thing too. Is like with a lot of these kids, like they have it in them. You could see it, right?
That's right, and that's why you got to focus on them originals, man. You got it.
Heck
I mean, we learn a lot through covers, right? We learn a lot through covers and all that stuff. But I was asked to do a cover. I got an invitation. Well, kind of. I don't know. To Canada's Got Talent season 2. And I go in for the audition, and one of the requirements is sing a cover. And I said, no. I said, fuck that. That's colonial to me. Taking somebody else's stuff, getting famous for it.
Well, you made it to, what is it, the top, did you make it on the top 5 on the shot as well, just doing all originals, eh?
I did. But just bringing it back, they never asked me back.
No?
So Canada doesn't have talent. They have karaoke singers.
Oh, karaoke.
I told them, I said, you know what? I said, would you, because Canada's got talent, so there's multiple talents of all different areas, right? And I said, would you, as a judge, tell a comedian to be like, hey, go and cover a joke that I've heard 1,000,000 times and make me laugh authentically? What kind of talent is that? Is what I like to say. So I really love these kind of circles because it really shines a light on not just the performance aspect of artistry, but we have to do so much to be able to get to this point to even share it. And I think that is the work, that's the true artistry of singing and performing and just loving what you do. And that's why I'm always like, man, I want to hear those originals, man. You got to bring them out. You got to keep going. Because that's where it is. So if they think they're going to manipulate me into saying, oh, you need to do a cover, well, that's half my talent. That's not fair. I'm already a Native woman. I already got barriers that I have to friggin' plow down. Now you're going to take half my gift away?
Right on. What'd they think of that?
Well, I'm not on their show. And
You're better off.
and I'm okay with that. Yeah, it's no skin off my ass.
It's
Like I really don't care. Like
you watch these shows, you know, like The Voice, and it's like, you know, the big thing about it is it's about the voice. If it is about the voice, don't turn the chair around.
That's right. That's right.
And you know, the music business has changed so much in my career, and it's, you know, we're all influenced by someone. So we start off playing other people's songs. I was fortunate enough to be young and to, I played a little piano, a little guitar, and start writing my own stuff. I don't know where any of it is anymore, but it was a start,
Yeah.
and I did play in a lot of cover bands because I chose to take the music road, and it paid me. I wasn't doing anything else but what I love to do. But I always, in the back of my head, knew that I was going to write my own songs. And it took a long time to really, get to where I was doing my own songs. But I did it the way I wanted to do it. I was wise enough, because you're always growing, and that's the beauty of music. And you're 25, and, you're going to hone your craft for many years, and you're going to just get better at it the more you
That's
do it.
right.
It's like golf, right?
That's
The more you play, the better you get. But you're not a good golfer.
Hey, I didn't say that. I'm just saying it's a fickle game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a fickle game.
But it's like I didn't do my first 2 albums till I was in my, almost 50. But I was on a lot of other people's albums, but it was always there. Yeah. And I was fortunate enough to have the band to be around Western New York and span out to a pretty wide area to be the most popular band doing my own songs.
That's right.
And I find myself now I can't take cover bands anymore.
Hey, man, I'm right with you.
Because
right
there's
with
so
you.
many people. I traveled all over the world, and there's so many good people, good musicians
That's
that
right.
we'll never see or hear about because of the music business. So I chose to stick to my guns, whether it be, I was true to myself. And you have to be, because honestly, no one really cares about you in the music business anymore.
I think that comes down to really honoring your gift.
Right.
It's honoring your gift and knowing that, and having the confidence in
Yeah.
order to do it, and that takes a lot.
It does.
And this is why I thanked you, each one of you, for sharing these things, because it takes a lot to be able to come out here and be real, and like, I don't know. Do you wanna finish that off with a song?
A song?
Yeah.
Sure. This song, it's called Better Man, and I started writing it. Grace had come with some guitar parts and a beautiful guitar, song, and I started writing the lyrics, and I was like, I have a son, Elijah, and he's 18 now, but he's autistic, and I started thinking about him. Maybe I'll first read the poem that I wrote. I wrote a song. The first song on my album is called Elijah, and
that's for him.
that's for him. If I can even find the poem, which I
That's
can't.
beautiful.
Well, anyway, we won't do that this time.
What?
You can buy the album, and it's on the inside.
I was waiting for that. You got a great lead up.
Yes, old people gotta, to put down their glasses.
There's bifocals, you can get.
I'm not wearing no bifocals.
I'm just saying.
They're invisible. I got
My
me
mom
some.
has them, and she says they're wonderful. Like, you just have to get used to them. It's all the angle of the head.
Yeah.
Well, the gist of the lyrics, I started thinking about my son and how he's made me a better man. He has taught me more than anybody or anything has in the entire universe. And he is autistic, and he doesn't talk. He's nonverbal. And so that ended up being Elijah, and we recorded the song, and I wrote the lyrics for it, but I ended up not putting the lyrics because he is nonverbal, and I kept it instrumental. It's a beautiful song. And, anyway, so this song kind of morphed into, I started writing how it made me a better man, and it's all the things I went through in my life. I being Native, growing up in a predominantly, I guess I want to say white neighborhood, Irish people, and it was tough, being a different kid, and I kind of lost my identity because I didn't want to be who I really was. And so I was an athlete, and I was very good at everything. And so I started playing music, and it put me somewhere on stage performing and playing where it was safe. And so I went through my whole life, almost my whole life, ups and downs, a lot of downs, and that's what the song is about. But in the long run, what it really came down to, everything that I went through that changed me the most is music. And the one line in here is, the same that took me there got me out. So, there was a lot of dark times, and I toured and traveled for years and years and years on buses, playing, whatever, and partied, which I think was my biggest regret, but it made me who I am now. I have come out of a lot of things, and I feel the confidence that I never felt, and I have to thank music, and it's a wonderful thing. So this is called Better Man. There was a time in my life when I wandered aimlessly, not knowing where I was going, pretending I didn't care. Oh yeah, to make me a better man is amazing to teach love, to give love. The same that took me out got me there. I didn't care who I hurt or who I was walking on. Tomorrow was another day and another time. Oh yeah, to make me a better man is amazing in itself. To give love, to give love, the same that took me there got me out. To make me a better man is amazing to give love, to teach love. The same that took me there got me out. Same that took me there got me out. Oh yeah. To make me a better man is amazing in itself. To give love, to teach love. Same that took me there got me out. Oh yeah. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. That was nice.
Cool tune.
Man, slapping that bass, bro.
That's what I grew up listening to.
Right
a lot of funk
on.
and soul. And
Yes, man, I love that. I love it. It comes right through, and I could feel it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Jim, I know you got one coming up here. You got one? You ready?
I do. I
Okay.
just gotta
All right,
get
excellent.
tune there.
Oh yeah, is it the different tuning?
Well,
Is it the Jim Jacobs
nope,
tuning?
I was tuned down for the last one, but
Ooh.
so we got another love song here.
Yes, man.
Sticking with the love songs tonight. This one is about loving somebody and it just ain't gonna work out. Sometimes we run into those situations.
More than not.
Yeah. Yeah. So this one's on the album there too. It's got a lot of cool steel guitar. Wish I had a steel guitarist here tonight.
Ain't nothing like it.
Yeah, I love it. You know, it's always been on Merle's and all the guys we mentioned earlier. Like, you hear it now somewhat, a little bit.
Like I can try it with my mouth.
Yeah.
Like I can mimic it if you
Yeah.
want.
All right, let's try that.
I'm not gonna ruin it for you though.
Okay, this one's called I Just Can't Quit Loving You. I've always been the kind of man who set out to do anything that I wanted to put my mind to. Gave it my best shot, did not too bad. But happy with the way they turned out. Well, there's just one thing in my life that I'll never do. Oh, I just can't quit loving you. I can't stop wanting to see you, wanting to hug you, wanting to kiss you all night. I can't stop wanting to hold you, wanting to please you, making sweet love till you feel so right. Are all the things that I just don't think I can do, 'cause I just can't quit loving you. Never had such a hard time with saying goodbye as I've had saying it to you. The divorce and the token, the drinking and the smoking were all so easy to do. But the one thing in my life that I'll never do, Oh, I just can't quit loving you. I can't stop wanting to see you, wanting to hug you, wanting to kiss you all night. I can't stop wanting to hold you, wanting to please you, making sweet love till you feel so right. All the things that I just don't think I can do, 'cause I just can't quit loving you. Oh, I just can't quit loving you. Yeah, I just can't quit loving you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I found the poem.
Oh, you found it. The show's over.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
You're
No,
lost.
no, I really do want to hear it, and I'm glad that you found it. Go ahead, sir.
All right.
Please.
Like I said, my son has autism, and this is the poem called Elijah, which was to go to the song, but here it is. I wrote, "The day you were born, I looked into your eyes, and I promised to protect you. I felt like I let you down at some point in time, and I know when. We were led down a difficult path. Anger and resentment were the main feelings in my life. Many days were spent with tears. There was no way to know what you were feeling, if you were tired, hungry, or if you hurt. I felt as I was helpless as a father, guilt-stricken, feeling sorry for us. But as time has gone by, you have made me realize that you chose me to help you and all others on the same walk of life. You have taught me more than any other without having a voice to say it out loud. There are still some hard times, but not like in the past. I accept our journey. I see your innocence and your happiness, and I have come to wish I were you, the teacher, the healer, Elijah."
Wonderful.
Thank you for sharing that. You got another song? Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm glad you found that on there. So yeah, I don't know how to follow up to that. Do you have another song that you want to share? I think we're coming down to a little bit of a time constriction here. What time is
We're
it?
going to take the question Q&A.
Is there a Q&A? Oh, there she is. I have one more song. Dang.
Did I scare you?
What?
It looks like I scared you.
You did. I didn't think it was over. I thought we had one more round.
2 rounds, but you can sing a song.
It's a circle. So I don't know. I sang the first one. I should sing the last one.
Lacey, you go, girl. Yeah. You sing that song.
Yeah?
You are the matriarch of this
Okay,
circle.
I'll do one more. And
If you say that we're singing a circle, I mean, we're singing another song, we're
I'll
singing another song.
I'll sing the encore.
You got 30 seconds.
Okay, so I have a story. Quick story. So I got into this BAMF program, right? In BAMF Center, it's a creative place to go be creative. And I applied for this program, and it wasn't like an Indigenous one. It was just like open, right? Because we're Indigenous doesn't have to be, we have to do Indigenous programming. Just letting you guys know. And you guys out there, if you guys are pigeonholed, don't feel that way. I applied, and I got in. So I go there, and the first day I get in, and I'm like a person that's like super eager. So like being on time is late. Sorry, Michelle, I was late today, but being on time is usually late for me. So I was like 10 minutes early to this like circle thing, and he's like, "Oh, come on in, welcome, take a seat." And the chairs were in a circle. I was like, "Oh, did you do this for me?" He's like, "No, just sit down there, just come in." I'm like, "Okay, I thought it was a circle because I'm native." Like, anyways. So I sit down, and the host comes in, and he sits down right beside me, and everybody else sits down too, and he sits right here. And he's like, "Welcome, everybody," doing all like the hosty things and laying out where the bathrooms are and like what kind of services that they provide, blah, blah, blah. And then the first day is introduction day, right? So he's like, "All right, thanks for coming by, and we're going to be starting with introductions, and I'm going to start with this gentleman here to my left." Yeah, that's what I said. And so if you heard me, I'm like now the last person, right? Because I'm sitting right beside him and he's starting here. So I'm like, great. The first guy gets up, he's like, oh, I'm so and so. My family invented this kind of trumpet that only I can play. And I was like, oh, wow, those are some lips. He didn't even need the mouthpiece. Like, he was just raw dogging it with that little weenie hole. Anyways. So then the next person came up and she's like, oh, I'm a music therapist and I've been doing it for the last 40 years and I'm so happy to be here. I'm like, wow, she's a doctor. And then so on and so forth. And it just literally got more and more people that have achieved these great things. And then here I am, right? And I'm like, hey, what's up? My name is Lacey. I'm not a doctor. But I'm from the res, so that's kind of cool. And then that was it, right? So for a month, I was at this residency. And for 2 weeks, guys, I want to say I suffered from this thing called imposter syndrome, where I did not feel like I was even worthy to be in that circle. And I never felt that. Usually I'm pretty like, oh man, I got this, whatever. I'm going to try my best, and usually that's good enough. And, well, it got in a funk, man, because when you're out there, they put you up in these cabins all by yourself in the mountains, and man, that really took a toll on me. For 2 weeks, I was like, you suck. Like, everything. This was shit. Every strum that I could not even contribute or produce anything. And I was just feeling so bad because every day we had like a sharing circle. So everybody was like, oh, look at what I made. Look at what I made. I'm a doctor, right? So I'm like, wow. So after 2 weeks of really talking down to myself, it really took a toll on me where I was like, what is this? What is this? And I remember coming out of my cabin and I looked up and it was nighttime in the mountains in Banff. And it's around this time, so there's snow on the mountain caps and it's a full moon. And there is just a blanket full of stars, you know? And I was like, come on, man. Like, I'm here. Use me. I'm ready. What do I gotta do? Like, come on. Fucking give me something. I was angry. So after I got that out, and, you know, did my native thing with the medicines and all that stuff, you know, I went back into my cabin and I wrote this song called The Moon. And it's the debut title of my new album, right? So this is it. And I guess I just want to tell you, you can do it no matter what. You can try to fight it, try to fight with all your might. Night creeps in with the dimness of the light. 'Cause the moon is calling, and you will be falling. You'll be sleep in my arms in a matter of time. Give me a weight, lay right on top of mine. I'll take your worries, give you some peace of mind. You'll be sleep in my arms in a matter of time. Cause the moon keeps on calling, and you will be falling. You'll be sleep in my arms. You'll be sleep in my arms. You'll be sleep in my arms in the matter of time. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Jim, James, Robert,
Thank you. That's awesome.
Aiden. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you. Thank you, Michelle, for having us here in such a beautiful place. It's so awesome and a pleasure and honor to be able to sing in such beautiful, beautiful places. And when you get to hear yourself, you give more. And I hope that you felt that tonight, guys. I hope that it filled up your cup. Because we said that music was the medicine, and that is a part of our bundle up here, and we're so privileged to be able to share these things with you. So thank you so much. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you to the sound men at the PAC.
They rock.
Can't get any better than that, so thank you.
And thank you, Lacey. And thank you, all of you, for sharing your medicine, your bundle tonight. I know that we are all felt that vibration, and I know that we'll be walking out of here in a different place and sharing those stories and coming together. And that's so important, to really be together in circle, to share the stories, to share your medicine. And yes, Lacey?
It's also important to buy our shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. If you got $20, if you got more than that, you should get all of our stuff, man. Like, cause shop local, shop native, it's authentic, and it's going back into, like, we've been doing this for years, so you know that $20 is gonna go back into what we're gonna do. So it really helps.
Well, I thought it was for I used to say the baby needs formula, but now it's more like I need,
You need
I
formula.
need some-
Just kidding.
Well, you took my lines. Thank you, Lacey. You should come here more often.
I am naturally a host, I think. I don't know why.
That's another one of your gifts.
You give me the mic, and
I know, I love it.
Look out.
Well, once again, Chimigwech Nyawe for coming in circle, and to me, it's really an honor and a privilege to have you all up here, and of course to have everyone that came out tonight and to share this time together. So at this point, we would like to sort of start the Q&A, and like Lacey said, Agolma Library will be selling your. Go ahead, your
Shit.
Your shit.
All the shit.
My mother would be so upset if she heard me say this on the mic.
My mom would be too, but she ain't here tonight.
So after the Q&A, go up to the Algoma lobby, and you will be able to purchase some of their swag, merch. Yeah, go ahead. So anyways, at this point, it's a Q&A. If anybody has any questions, I have a mic that I could come down and I think I can slide it out.
Q&A, Q&A. Oh, I see a hand.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's good. We
Oh,
can
you
hear
are
you.
loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Musician bucket list. Robert, it looks like you have one right on the tip of your tongue.
My musician bucket list, huh? That's tough. I've done so much, but probably well, I got to meet Jackson Browne, and that was pretty cool. So probably playing a gig with someone like him, or just hanging out with him a little longer, you know? He's a fantastic songwriter, a guy that is into, our earth. When I met him, he was reading about the Seneca people, and we talked about, the culture a little bit, and his wife is totally into, saving the ocean, getting rid of plastics, and he said it's totally amazing how damage plastics do to our earth. And then he ran in the back and he goes, "Yeah, I'm starting to sell these water bottles," and he gave me his water bottle, and it's the stainless steel one, the Jackson Browne. So, but just to play a gig with someone like that has so much impact on the music, from back. I grew up back in the day with the '70s, and it was a beautiful decade of, with lyrical songs and just the musicality.
Yeah.
It's just something, and I credit that to who I am today. So, how about you? Bucket list.
Me? Are you looking at me? Oh, I thought you were looking by me. Do you guys got one ready? Because if not, I do.
Yeah, you do.
I guess my bucket list would be to just be able to write songs every day, like for a living. I guess that's the goal. See what happens with these songs, and I would just love to create new tunes every day and write with more people all the time. Like, I hope I can write with you guys one day.
I love
One day soon. Yeah. And then just go from there.
Yeah, my musician bucket list. That's a hard one because there's so many. There's so much I haven't experienced yet, and there's so many artists that I would love to share the stage with as well. But I think on top of this, I want to be able to do a song or an album that's just inspires youth to get into the arts, get into music and stuff. Because it's like it's crazy how much of an impact it actually does make on your life. Like, I guess maybe just because of how invested I was into it, but I don't know. There's so many benefits to it, and so I hope that maybe I can inspire others in the future, and write some really good songs, things that will live on even after I'm gone. Right? I think that's the goal, right? So, yeah.
I had a dream. I really did, and it was in COVID times. And it was a dream where I was just really laughing with these people that they didn't have no faces in this really colorful room. And we were just, like, I was laughing so much, like I was crying. And when I woke up, I was like overjoyed. And I thought about that dream because I don't often dream. But when I do, it's like that magnificent. And so I thought about it, and I'm like, man, I'm supposed to interview all of Six Nations artists and create a living digital library of our history and music and entertainment. And in the colorful room was filled with instruments. So whoever came in that I was interviewing, I was like, hey, you want to play us something? And it would be recorded as a podcast. And from there, we would develop kind of an archive of Six Nations history and music, because we don't have that. So once we get the history, I then, obviously, I don't know why I have these thoughts, but once we have that history, I want to create this foundation called the ACE Foundation. And the ACE Foundation is for arts, culture, and entertainment. And it's to create a foundation for Six Nations members to be supported in the industry of all types, whether it be from on stage to sound to tech to all of the whole stage, the whole show. You know what I mean? So anybody who's interested, I want to create programs in order to support them in following their dreams that way. So on top of this, I got asked to go to the NAC, which is the National Arts Center, and they asked me to do this apprenticeship program for stage management. And when the NAC asks you to do something, you negotiate. You say yes, but I know you got an orchestra, and I would like 2 nights with your orchestra if you want me to do this. Who knows if it will happen, but that's on my bucket list. And once I gain this information, I'll be able to come back to the reserve and start training stage management, because I'll be a certified at a national arts level stage manager. So I don't know how these opportunities come my way, but I am so very grateful, and that is on my bucket list, and that's my vision for the next 5 years. It's to create this living library, and it would be honed on the reserve, and it would have its own database on the reserve too, so it would be sovereign, which I think is really important, because then no one will be able to take that away from us. And we have that kind of support there. I know the people there, and so that's my vision with my bucket list. I had to make a new one because I conquered my bucket list, and so this is my new next 5 years kind of thing. So I'm going to be asking for help. I can't do it alone, and you're a part of that process too. So I'll be interviewing people and creating this digital library. So that's what I'm doing.
That's incredible.
And also writing songs.
Congratulations.
Yeah, writing songs and all that stuff.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful, Lacey. Beautiful vision. A
Well,
great bucket
you
list.
never know. I don't know, I'm a pretty hard worker, and I feel like
you'll
I can
do
do
it.
that.
You can do it. And you know what? You have the support, not only on Six Nations, but you have the support all around you. I know
Yeah.
that here at the Performing Arts Center and
Thank you.
Celebration of Nations, we definitely support you 150%.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Any other questions?
Oh, we got one over here, front row. Yes, sir.
We have 5 amazing musicians. 4 great singers. I'll bet you can sing too.
Aiden, can you sing?
No.
Like, what is it? Which cover are we gonna do, guys?
The Weight.
What? The Weight? Do you know The Weight? Well, what's another one? You know what? I don't really know if we can. We never really jammed together, and I'm sure there's other questions. You want to do a blues song? I think the blues would be the best, probably, because it's, the blues, Fuck it, let's just make a new one. Just go. Okay, just do it. I got the vocals. That whole call and response. Hey, if we're going to sing this, you got to help too. Do it. Whatever. Go. We'll follow Jim's lead here.
All right, there
You know the blues.
I know this one.
Blues, country blues.
You probably know it. Yeah.
So it's just a call and response here.
Okay.
Or are you doing it? You started off. Yeah.
Well, you heard about love and giving sight to the blind. My baby loved me till the sun don't shine. She's my sweet little thing. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby. I'm my little lover boy. Yes, I love my baby, heart and soul. Love like ours, I won't ever grow. She's my sweet little thing. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby. I'm my little lover boy. All right, pick one. Mess with her, you see a man getting me. She's my sweet little thing. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby, and I'm her little lover boy. Yes, I love my baby, heart and soul. Love like ours, I won't never grow. She's my sweet little thing. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby. I'm my little lover boy.
Next question. Everybody's going home satisfied tonight. Oh, we got one in the back here. When we
We
going?
have one right over here. Yeah. Do you need a mic? Okay.
Oh.
That's a great question. One is accessibility and making sure that it's accessible to everybody. And we just wanted it to be open, like a family coming to our home, and you're invited to our home. Come on in, sit down. If you want to jam, just like Tom asked if they would all jam together. And I'm sure if you had your guitar here, you'd be out jamming with them. But it's more of like that sort of family sort of atmosphere, in circle, enjoying together. But if you did have pay what you can, that would be grateful as well. But it's more of that.
One more.
Oh,
We got one in the back there. Sego.
I know you have a loud voice, Phil. Do you need my mic? Is that Lacey? What's the name of your instrument? And how come? Oh, do you have names for your instruments?
Like Willie
I
Nelson
don't.
has
I
his
never.
trigger?
Yeah, like B.B. King,
Yeah.
Lucille. No, I never.
Yeah.
I never named my instrument. But it never yells at me.
Yeah.
Never argues.
Complains.
Nobody.
James, you got a name.
I actually don't. Like, I was I'm trying to think. Like, I know they call this the workhorse, right? It's generic. Like, but I don't know. I don't really even have a name for it. It's my baby, though. It's my baby. I don't let any.
Well, I really got attached to my instruments. You know,
Yeah.
they're part of me, and it's sad. Like a while back, when I lived in Florida, they all got stolen, and I had these basses for like 20, 5 years, and it's like, it was really tough. It was tough to go through that. They stole my car with all my equipment and everything, but the music family that you have and the musicians, it's like a brother and sisterhood, and I had people come to me that I barely even knew, and, you know, donating money to me, and I was like, and one musician let me use his bass and the amp and his van, you know, and it was an incredible experience. I never did get him back, but so that's why I kind of try not to name them.
Don't want to get too attached.
I've never really named mine either. No.
Blondie. I had Blondie, see.
Blondie.
Blackie.
That's a dirty blonde, if I've ever seen one.
Needs a dye job. 66.
That's nice. That's like triple your age.
I was
no?
like 3 years old.
That's pretty nice, man. Oh, same year your dad was born. Nice.
So I'm older than your dad?
That's pretty memorable. I don't have a name for mine either. I have a name for my car, though, but not my guitar.
What's the name of your car?
My car's name is Wilhelmina. Yeah, real old school. It goes with the parking app, right? You kind of you can name it. So that's my name. But no, do you have a guitar? And what, you got a name for yours? Oh, okay. I thought it was like, you know, well, I got a name for mine. Good question. Next. One more? Yes, over in the side here.
The oral tradition has often been downplayed and dismissed in favor of the written word. Where do you feel, or where do you fit in terms of the oral tradition being more honest than the written word?
Yeah, James. Jeez. Right.
I am coming to more and more doubt that what I read was true when I really understand music better in terms of truth.
There's a good book out. I can't recall the author, but it's called Lies My Teacher Told Me. And it kind of sums that up, really. But, you know, it's about a lot of things that they want you to know.
Yeah.
And really, they are lies.
I think what it comes down to, like, traditionally, we are oral storytellers. Just because way back then, I'm sure we didn't even have writing utensils. Like, we didn't have a pencil, you know, or a pen. So we had to, I think our elders told us stories that were customized to what we needed to hear in those lessons. And I think that's why it's so special when it comes to oral tradition, is because it's so customized to each person, right? Because that elder knows you and sees you doing things that you might need this story to help you in your behavior and your actions, right? So sometimes it's not necessarily a lie. It's just manipulating it to benefit you. And I think that's one of the really special things about our people. So it's not necessarily a lie. It's just what you need to hear in order to overcome yourself and your inner things. It's to help you with your own shadow work. And I think that's why it's so important, and our people did that, was because it's not just written once and then you all read it and you all get something from it. Yeah, there is. But when you're doing it in an oral traditional way, I think you might get that written part maybe 50%, but orally you'll get 100% of it. You know what I mean? Whether it's a lie or not, it's up to you and your perception of what you're going to take from that and how that's going to help you in your life. See, the ego in the mind is kind of like a double-edged sword. And when I say that, sometimes when we read something, it doesn't always sink in, because sometimes our ego is in the way too. So it's like when you're talking to someone and you're looking them into the eye, they don't have that time to let that ego in when you're telling them all this information. They're just simply listening. But on the other side of that sword is the ego taking in this information, and how is it going to help me? How can I relate? How can I connect? How can I take this and do something with it? That's just a natural human thing, right? So when it comes to written, I feel that some of it is lost in translation, but really when we talk orally to each other, the way that we pass down stories is specifically for that person, because it's tailored to them, because when it's tailored to them, it means so much more. So then they remember it, because it's impacting them so much. It's giving them goosebumps. It's changed their life. This information, you can't go back, right? And that's the power of oral tradition. But this is only my perception.
Basically, it's like pick up the phone, don't text, right? Pretty much.
Pick up the phone, don't text. We can lose translation and meaning in text.
Of
So
course.
yes, absolutely. It's the same kind of thing. But when you're looking at somebody and you're trying to explain to them the feeling, the emotion with it, that's where the connection is. And that's where it continues over, because it means so much to you. And that's why there's that power there. Which one? Oh, yeah, man, thank you. Yeah. Well, donations, I'll have a website. You can donate, you can help out, you can be a part of it. But yes, thank you for that question. Did you guys want to add anything to that? Aiden. Give him the mic. I didn't mean it like that, like bossy.
All right, check.
I'm sorry.
So to reiterate, I guess, what you were saying, so for me, music has been a way for me to, I don't come from the same cultural background as a lot of times the people I'm playing music with, but I have found that, just as, the word, in my opinion, is a way to just communicate something, music is also a way to communicate. For me, personally, I was pretty shy growing up. I used to hide when there'd be a stranger come over. Well, a stranger to me, it was like probably one of my mom's best friends, I'd hide behind her legs, and, I was so small you couldn't even see me. And when I got old enough to, communicate, I easily found solace in the guitar, because I was like, well, my first real teacher was like, well, you can communicate emotions through playing and how you approach certain notes. And he showed me. He was a very, very talented musician. So I don't know. Music's a tradition as well. Like, the last song we played was a blues song, and even though it's a newer blues song, the form has been around. I don't know how long, at least since written history in the Western world became a thing, and even before then. So, music can translate a lot with things, and it's tailored. Everybody has a different approach to how they play music. Like the way he might approach the 12 bars might be different than the way he does or she does or he does, and you can kind of understand a person just by the way that they play. So it's true. Anyways, nice question.
Amazing, yeah. I think I could add to that a little bit. Just so right now, I'm in teachers college right now, so I'm doing my placement working with kids, and a big reason why I got into teaching is because when I was a kid, I had an IEP. I'm not sure if any of you know what that individual educational plan, and it was because I had ADHD growing up, and I couldn't follow the way everybody else was learning. I don't know why. Like I could only certain things I would retain, but the things that I did retain, I would be amazing at. I never understood why I was like that, and it came down to like the way I was learning, the way the teachers were teaching me, and I found that it got to the point where I never understood why, but it's like I could say the answer like 100%, do great, but then when it came for me to write it down or something like that, I would barely be able to get a sentence in, and right, and that is funny because like now I'm going to be a teacher, but the thing is I always have that in the back of my mind where it's like you have to make your teaching very accessible to everyone. Everybody learns differently. Everybody has different talents, and it's amazing that that's a thing, right? Because if we were all the same, it'd be a pretty boring world, you know what I mean? So the thing is, sometimes you have to really listen to the kids. You have to listen, and you have to find what it is that they were here to do, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's in those little hidden things, the way they learn, the way they do stuff. Like I've had students who had autism or different things, and they excel, they hyper focus in certain subjects, and it's amazing how like you could really if you do your teaching methods right, you know, you could really bring that out in them, bring out the talents, and you could help them find who they are, you know. So I don't know, that was a big thing why I wanted to get into teaching. I wanted to really use my perspective in supporting those that are maybe struggling or not getting the right teaching. So
I remember I tutored a lot of kids. I got hired in the school system, and it was nice for me because I had basically a very small table or one-on-one, and I was able to learn about each child. And then that made it easy for me to teach them because, like you said, we all learn differently, and that's you know, it seems nowadays that's another struggle is the education system, and you know, it needs to change. Kids are moving faster, they're learning faster, you know, and it seems like we're still stuck in the 1940s, you know, and they are. I was. Thank God for the band in school. I would never made it through school. I would never went. I was bored out of my mind, you know, sitting in the classroom, and lucky there was music.
Yeah.
yeah.
Any last questions for our musicians?
Well, did that answer your
Oh, sorry.
question, sir? Okay, good. Like I said, everybody's going home satisfied tonight. Michelle? Anybody else? All right,
don't think
cool.
so.
See you in the lobby. Oh, wait, whoa, there's one over here. Oh my God, let me take this one. Okay, so before I quit my job and became a full-time musician, I was a recruiter, and I recruited all over Ontario. I went to all over like the reses in Ontario to promote post-secondary. And as a recruiter, an Indigenous one, this is exactly what I did. Was I talked to the individual, they were like, I really like this and this and this. Well, hey, we got programs that are like, you know, you get some education behind the things that you like. That's the first step, right? Well, the first step is actually being like, I really like this. I'm really good at this. And sometimes that takes some practice. So I would ask, what are you doing every day? Because that is already something that's already in place. Like, because what we practice every day, if we're stressed, that's what we go to. The everyday things how we get through things, right? So it's about what you're practicing every day. And is that a part of your bundle and your gift? I have this keynote. I'm a keynote speaker sometimes too, and I really enjoy getting to know people, to see the gifts that they have and say, oh, maybe this might be something that you might be interested in. But you can do that for yourself too. You know what I mean? Like, you can totally Google search. Okay? And it might sound crazy to someone, but it's definitely not, because you're just exploring, and there's nothing wrong with exploring. And in fact, I encourage exploration, and I encourage being in discomfort. I know sometimes Creator has really different paths for us, and we all have these special gifts. And sometimes we have to go through trauma, tragedy, love, loss, grief, in order to find our paths. So when I quit my job, I had lost my partner, and I was like, the worst thing that could ever happen to me. And I wasn't wanting to be here anymore either. There was a point in time where I had this moment, and it was like, if you can feel this low and this sad and this to the bottom of the brim, then you can feel that somewhere in the future at a different level, at the highest capacity. Which makes me think differently when it comes to trauma. I used to be scared of it and afraid of it. Now I'm like, bring it on, because I know what's on the other side of that. I know what I gotta learn. And I don't take those things back, because it pushed me into, you're only got so much time here. My partner passed when she was 33. I was 32. She was a doctor. And just like that, gone. So that really made me, I had to lose her in order for me to see that in me and say, I don't got much time here. What am I gonna do? Who are you gonna be? Because right now you're just fucking around. And we all know when we are. And this is why it's so important to do that shadow work within yourself, to get that confidence, to know your worth, to be uncomfortable in those situations. And when you are comfortable, what are those patterns in you that you practice every day that are going to save your butt in those stressful times? So in order to move forward and lean into who we are, we must know who we are, right? So it's that inner questioning of self. And I just found this out. There's some people out there that don't have an inner voice. I've had an inner voice. Like, I remember the day I had an inner voice. It was a sunny day. I was like 9, and I heard this voice, and I was like, wow. And to this day, that's consciousness. That's our conscience. And so since that day when I was young, I'm constantly in conversation with myself. And there's some people that don't even think like that. So I encourage people to just question, hey, am I showing integrity? Is this honest? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Because I guarantee you all have a feeling inside when you know you're not supposed to do something. No? Mm-hmm. So you're doing something bad, right? And you know you're doing something bad. You know that's got some karma attached to that. So now it's about making decisions and making the right decisions. And this is where the inner work starts, because this is your consciousness. So I talk a lot about the ego and the heart and how they work together. See, where I'm from, there's this, I've had a lot of people jealous and say and do really mean things to me. Now, jealousy is a double-edged sword. It's a part of the emotional spectrum, and it carries a certain frequency, right? I'm into frequency. I love frequency. I've told you about 528. That's my series. It's love, right? See, the residential school, when the kids were there, they used frequencies too. And shame was a big one. And shame is actually just above death in the frequency scale. And so they shame these kids, right? And so getting older, you get jealous people, you get things that, people hating on you for doing whatever. Man, I love it. I love it because if I'm jealous of someone, I take it, I recognize it, and I let myself feel jealous. But then I say, how long am I going to feel in that way? How long am I going to be jealous over this person? I recognize it, I feel it, and then I ask the question, I'm not going to be here for long because I got work to do. That jealousy is your inner ego telling you, you want that? Go get it. You can do that too. That's where that jealousy comes in. Oh, they got that, well, you can do that too. How are you going to use that energy now knowing that you can? Are you going to sit there and continue to be jealous and talk about somebody? No. I'm going to get to work. Thank you for that. I see a little bit of you in me. And I'm not taking that time to utilize that jealousy moment and what you have, right? Does that make sense, or did I just talk a bunch of gibberish? It's really hard to explain, but I think these negative emotions, because they're a gauge. They're a gauge in who we are, and it's a human thing. And we're so blessed to have these emotions of all spectrums. So does that answer your question in stepping into your bundle and who you are? And the best thing about this is that everything that happens to you is meant to. And that really gives you a different perspective. And it gets me through the hard times. Because I'm just like, oh yeah, I know what's on the other side of this. Fucking right, let's go. Give it to me. And I know what to do with it. I have a song called The Conduit. And you should check out the video, but it's a question of who you are. Who are you gonna be? And in the video, there's this young person, and she's doing all these good deeds, right? And it shows you in the video of how that affects other people. And it takes integrity, bravery, courage, all those things to be that. And then it shows you in the video how it moves to other people. It's really cool, but this is why it is cool, because I can tell you that I've done that work, and I continue to do that work, and I continue and to encourage other people to do that work too, and if not, plant the seeds to do so, because we're all meant to do really magnificent things here. So my message is, don't waste time, do the work. If you feel those negative emotions, work through them, because those are your own inner things that you got to work on yourself. And for all those people that are jealous, keep talking. Oh yeah, keep saying my name, baby. Good, bad, I don't care. I'll take that energy, and I know what to do with it, right? So if you are a gossiper out there, now you know how energy works. If you don't like that person, don't talk about them. Don't even give them the time a day. Because as soon as you say their name, oh, Lacey's such a bitch. Oh, give it to me, baby. I'll take that energy. Oh, yeah. It's important how we know how energy works. Did you guys need to say anything on that one?
Yeah, what she said.
Ditto. That's it. Oh, she's giving us she went like this to us, so.
Thank you all. We'll see you out in the lobby.
Thank you so much. Appreciate everything.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.